Hey Acepriters, I'm back with another video, and in this one I want to talk about an Aseprite extension I installed. So it's called KEYFRAMES, and it's by Fletch on itch.io. The basic idea is it lets you mark and unmark which frames of your animation are keyframes, and then you can easily navigate between them as you're animating. So just for demonstration, I have my Iron Giant here, and if you've seen him before, you know that he does this jump slash animation. I kind of simplified it though. There was a lot more frames before, like he does a whole idle, charge, let's see, jump, slash, and then there's a big old explosion. But I cut out a lot of it just for the simplicity of demonstrating this extension. But as you can see here, it's really messy. And the only real thing I changed were frames 2 through 7. So 1 and 8, they're still in place. They're still pretty good. But what I want to do for this video is just show you how I would fix up this sloppiness of like all these frames all over the place. So I'll just go ahead and mark which frames are the keyframes. So that would be this one. So alright, so I marked frame 1 as a keyframe, and it adds this new layer called keyframes in all caps. And then this is where you're going to be labeling which frames are your keyframes and which aren't. So we have one here labeled. We're going to label this one as well. And then there's a frame in here which is not positioned. Well, the sprite isn't positioned where he should be because I moved him a little bit, just shuffled him up a bit so we can fix them. But I think it's this frame. Yeah, this is the keyframe here. So now that I have these 3 frames labeled as keyframes, now I can just jump between them. You can see here it goes from 1 to 4 to 8. And I'm going to start by fixing up this frame here. So select this, and then I'm going to try to position him where he should be. So he should be positioned right about, oops, a little more up. So something like that. And then we're just going to continue on. Now I'm going to make this one, I'm going to mark this for now so we can position this, we can fix up this frame here. So I'm going to go from 4 to 6 to 8, and you can see that that looks sloppy as well. So we'll just have to fix up that motion. Something like this, I guess. And then we'll just continue on. I don't think we don't need to mark this one as a keyframe because there's really only one frame in between 6 and 8 and 7. So it's not really necessary. You can I just use the arrow keys to check here. But see how like if you're using the arrow, if you're going through each frame and then you have to see 5, right? You're gonna look at frame 5. It's just gonna throw you off as you're trying to position the sprite. But since we have the keyframes labeled, we can just jump between 4 and 6, and then so now we can see that we can see that 5 needs to go a little bit higher. This needs to go lower. And then there we go. So I just cleaned up the animation with the extension. So anyways, I'll just show you where you can download it. So you go here, it's Keyframes by Fletch. And this is itch.io. This is his keyframes page. You're gonna scroll all the way to the bottom, download it, and then after you download it, it's gonna be in your downloads folder. But after you do that, I would so it's gonna show up in your downloads folder right here. But personally, I would put it in your Aseprite directory, so right here, and then I would make a folder called extensions just so you can remember where it is, and then just place it there. And then once you have it placed there, I'm gonna go back to Aseprite, go to edit preferences, go to extensions, and then you can add extension here. And you're just gonna have to look for it in your computer. So wherever you put it, so it would be here, and then you select that, press OK, and then that will install it. And then once you have it installed, you can open up the keyframe editor here. This is a manual way to do it. I have shortcuts, but if you don't want to use shortcuts, you can open up the keyframe editor, and then you can add, delete keyframes, jump between the keyframes. You can set this if you want to just stay within the tag. Like if you give a region of your animation timeline, you give it a tag, then that will just keep it restricted into that tag. So and then so you can also set up shortcuts, which are in commands. So there's one shortcut there, add keyframe. I set it to 3. Let's see here, there's another one. It's called delete keyframe, and I put that on 4. And then there's next and previous. Go to next keyframe. So I put that on 2. Go to previous. Go to previous. Then I put that on 1. So that's a little bit about the extension. I think if you're an Aseprite animator, you're probably gonna find it useful. So I'm just throwing that out there. So you can go support Fletch on itch.io if you want, and download it. And anyways, I hope you have some good luck with your animations.